Kendall. Doesn't want to stay up. Good morning. Thank you, Dean Barth, school social work faculty, staff, and administrators, friends and family, and of course, the reason for the season, our 2015 class graduates. As you look around the room today, from your left to your right, you might be thinking the same thing I was earlier. I don't know half the people here. But don't despair. If you're interested in a conversation starter, ask the person next to you about process recordings. And we can all take a collective sigh of relief because we don't have to write one more. As graduates of the School of Social Work, we are bound by much more than a code of ethics. Today, we are recognized as professionals, as agents of change. This year's theme, Social Work Paves the Way to Change, is something that took me a minute to wrap my head around. My first thought, this could not be any more ambiguous. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized this was the perfect phrase to encapsulate the various roles and responsibilities we will be tasked with in the field. And each one will be different. For some of us, change will be within the clients we work with each and every day, targeting mental health concerns, substance abuse issues, or individual education plans. We'll demonstrate the empathy and compassion necessary to meet our clients where they are. For others, change will mean working alongside community leaders to fight for policy and systemic changes that will directly impact vulnerable communities, either positively or negatively. But no matter where we find each other, we must be willing to place ourselves in a broader context and understand the ways that we either perpetuate or combat the social ills we see every day. We have to understand that by passive or active consent, we are all wrapped up in a larger system of inequality that will force us to engage in ways to dismantle an institutional arrangement that values some lives over others. The recent events in Ferguson and New York, Cleveland, Charleston, and Denver, and of course right here in Baltimore, are only a fraction of the men and women of color that have been on the receiving end of a social justice system that plagues our communities. Some of you may have noticed the Black Lives Matter stickers on the top of our caps this morning and thought, don't all lives matter? And don't worry, this has also been a conversation in the school as well. But the reason that this movement was started over 3 years ago by a queer black woman was because white people like me don't need any more affirmation about the value or significance of our lives because society does that for us. I can be sure when I walk out of this room today wearing this black hood, I won't be mistaken for a thug or a thief or anything else besides a white dude in a funny outfit. My parents won't have to torment over my safety because as a 6'3" white male, I won't be seen as a threat, and I will never be accused nor targeted for walking, running, or driving while black. If social work will in fact pave the way for change, then by default, social workers will be the catalysts. In preparation for this speech, I recalled a quote from an Indigenous Aboriginal leader who said, "If you come here to help me, you're wasting your time. If you're here because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together." But in order for us to be each fully liberated, we must be willing to confront these issues head on, beginning with ourselves and the institutions that we represent. We must move beyond symbolic shows of support towards more tangible, grittier, and difficult conversations about race in the school of social work, in our homes, and in the organizations that employ us. I will close my remarks today with a sentiment that I suspect some of you may have already experienced. I can remember on several occasions someone giving me unsolicited career advice, which culminated with something patronizing to the effect of, "It's great that you care. When you grow up, you're going to want a real job." Clearly, we have not pursued this degree for money or glamour, but for something much larger and ultimately more rewarding. At a recent protest for Freddie Gray, a black leader reminded me that justice doesn't happen because we ask for it. Justice happens when we work for it. So my fellow 2015 graduates, let's get to work.